Conspiracy Theories by Dr. Gonzo. So you want some conspiracy theories, do you? How far down the rabbit hole do you want to travel? There may be a lot of shit you have not considered in this request. Sense of paranoia. The fear everyone is watching you. Thanks, Eddie Snowden. Making this video is the first time I have taken the tape off my laptop since the Snowden leaks. Where do I begin? Let's start where I began. On September 10th, Donnie Rumsfeld revealed to the public that $8 trillion of the Pentagon budget was unaccounted for. I said trillion. And that is a lot of fucking money. That amounts to 1,000 Oprahs at the time. The next day that was widely forgotten about was the halting of the investigation into the misappropriation of funds. Building 7 was demolished later that day, along with the paperwork involving those missing funds. This wasn't the only time that Donnie admitted to something being amiss that day. Flight 93 was crashed into the state of Pennsylvania, was said to have been taken over by the passengers that had flown into the ground by the hijackers at the last minute. However, the last 12 minutes of the black box was never released. And there were 3 crash sites for one plane, all of them miles apart. Donnie later said on camera that they were forced to shoot down the plane, with American citizens inside, and never corrected the comment. Never trust Donnie with top secret intel. Let's say we did shoot the plane down. What makes a better story for going to war? Yes, there was a lot of conspiracy theories out, and it doesn't end with 9/11. While we are no longer in Iraq, I have to ask, why we never left Afghanistan? A country that bankrupted the Russians and every other country that marched in there. The Taliban made the production of opium illegal. While they were in power, rumors amassed that when we took control, we were there for the gold. It wasn't gold our troops were guarding while marching into the countryside. No, it was the opium fields and the addictive drug that they produced. A widely used narcotic that is a favorite of the Chinese with their 1.3 billion people, who have a lot of money these days to spend on a cheap high. The CIA likes to keep their budget off the books, and why not balance that out with a side business of keeping our economic partner high to continue ripping them off? They did the same thing during Vietnam, flying huge shipments of heroin on U.S. military cargo planes, something my old friend Michael Rupert reported on. God damn, I miss that guy. These days, drugs have come back to the forefront. While the rest of the country is eager to end the stupid war on drugs, a conspiracy of the Nixon administration to end the protests of Vietnam and suppress the Black Power movement, the Trump administration wants to continue it in order to profit from mass incarceration of the lower class in this country. If you aren't doing drugs to ignore how fucked over the public is, then you aren't paying attention. The states have spoken, and notice that their budget problems have been fixed by offering a taxable solution to the public's depression. In the meantime, the feds think the only rights the states have involve who can use a bathroom. Currently, the media is concentrating on a link between the Trump White House and Russia. While they continue to beat a dead horse with the name of Putin, the House is bringing bills to vote on, including the end of the EPA, the Department of Education, privatizing public schools, banning abortion, and repealing the ACA. All of these are the real news that isn't being covered when the majority of our press is owned and operated by the far right. Should we really be surprised? Most of these policies go back to an old program started by the United Nations called Agenda 21. Mostly forgotten except for people like Alex Jones, who lost his mind a long time ago when he learned of all of this. Agenda 21 is the organized depopulation of the planet that needs to happen if the human race is going to survive climate change. Leave it to the rich and privileged to try and save the planet for themselves, so that they can continue to kill lions and elephants while the rest of us are starving in FEMA camps. Katrina was the real test for this. Obama never took the guns like so many people thought he would, but Bush did take the guns from the citizens of New Orleans after the hurricane hit. How easy was it to round up a starving population and move them wherever it was desired for the state? This new policy of disappearing people continued under Trump with the immigration camps, and will continue when the list is added by political affiliate and skin color. Add in poverty, and the Republican agenda of controlling the masses is set. It is sad enough to learn that the Democratic Party doesn't exist, and that it was set up to organize the liberal element into thinking they have a voice. That became clear when they plotted against Bernie Sanders and killed the party when there was a real chance to make a difference. People like to think that things were better under Obama, and even Clinton. But when you look at the laws they signed, how can anybody think that they were any better than the open fascist leaders that we had before and after? Clinton came in after Bush, who talked about a new world order. What did Clinton do? He signed NAFTA, continuing the New World Agenda started by Bush. While Obama talked about closing Gitmo, he instead expanded the Patriot Act with the NDAA and never closed Gitmo, instead using the drone program to assassinate U.S. citizens. There is only one agenda, and it doesn't include us being here to reap the rewards. The chosen few want a world left to them with all the rewards, and the party does not include us. 9/11 was the start of a theft that continues until today. The banks robbed the market, and the politicians stripped away civil rights, and we are left to think that fighting over the bathroom is the moral cause of our time. There are 7 billion people on the planet, and by the end of the century, it will be weighted down to 1 billion, and nobody will be left to complain. Wake the fuck up, people. Stop burying your head in the sand and start digging a bunker, because the only person that can save you is staring back at you in the mirror.